Linda and HarperAudio Australia present this unabridged recording of Melaleuca, written by Angie Faye Martin and read by Phoebe Grainer. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people should be aware that this book contains names of deceased persons. For Pedro. Gurunga is a fictional town in southern Queensland, about 200 kilometres west of Brisbane. It is based on the town where I grew up, Oakey. But my characters and their actions are not representative of any of the people from this town, past or present. Prologue. Light was breaking on the horizon as she ran along a dirt driveway, trying not to trip or stumble in the potholes. She reached the wire gate, panting, and paused to look in both directions. She could see an endless straight bitumen road with fields of wheat on either side, canopied by a vast universe of distant stars. It wouldn't take him long to notice she had escaped, to find her again in this dry, flat landscape. Hurry up, choose. She chose the west and ran away from the rising sun, hoping to stay hidden in the twilight shadows. Her feet were soft and bare, but adrenaline prevented her from feeling any pain from the rough stones. She heard the sound of a familiar car engine starting and pushed to run faster. Headlights came from behind and she threw herself into the tall grass on the side of the road. As she expected, it was him. She watched the car drive by. The window was down, his elbow resting on the door, and she could see his eyes scanning the fields for movement. Cold, hard eyes. She crouched as low as possible, heart pounding, waiting and praying for the car to pass. When the headlights had faded into nothing, she crept back out onto the road. She looked again in each direction, knowing she couldn't return to where she had run from, nor go in the direction the car had taken. Enormous paddocks of long grass lay on either side, gently swaying in the early morning breeze. But to one side she could just make out the silhouette of trees on the horizon. At least it would give her a place to rest for a moment, think of the next move. She made up her mind and bolted towards the foliage. The grass whipped against her legs as she fled across the paddock, and eventually she tumbled down a steep dirt bank, landing hard in mud. She found her footing, wiping the sweat off her forehead, and looked around with all the fear and exhaustion of day-long hunted prey. She could just make out dirt slopes on either side, dipping down sharply into the water. A log that had fallen across the mud stretched into the creek. She crawled along it, careful not to slip into the stream, and leaned down to cup some water into her parched mouth. Hesitant at first, careful not to make a sound, then gulping more hastily. Something plopped into the creek nearby, breaking her focus on drinking, making her gasp and jump. A turtle or a fish, perhaps? She was paralyzed by fear. Retreating back from the log, she dragged herself up to her feet and continued along the creek bed, climbing over falling timber and squelching through deep sludge to get away. To where? She did not know. Just away. As far away as she could possibly get from the hell that lurked behind. She ran as far as she could along the muddy creek bank until she collapsed, exhausted in a small clearing. Her chest rose and fell, sucking in the cool morning air which felt sharp in her lungs, as adrenaline pounded through her veins. She knew fear, and she knew dread, but this was nothing short of utter terror. Two eagles.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?